Good evening, everyone. As you can see, a different host tonight. Cammy is away for the weekend. He's away to Madrid, and he's probably taking the weather with him. I think it's meant to be rainy and about 11 or 12 degrees. And he's away over to watch the American football with Washington Commanders. So good luck to him, and hope he has a nice weekend, doesn't get too wet, and enjoys the stadium, Bernabeu. So, yeah. We'll see how it gets on next week whenever he's chatting about it. Anyway, tonight we've got Hugh and we've got Graham. How you doing, guys? You're regulars on the show. Good to get you back in again.
Very well. Thank you very much for asking, Dennis.
Good. Yourself, Graham? Happy man?
Yeah, all good, mate. Glad it's Friday. Looking forward to the weekend.
Yeah, good. Anyway, I think what we'll start with is... you guys can chip in here if you want to start with Scotland first, or do you want to start with the league leaders at this moment in time?
I think we have to go. I think we have to go with Scotland.
Yeah, I think so. We'll go with Scotland. Anyway, let's kick it off. We know we've got Greece and we've got Denmark in the next few days. So where do you both think that we're going to end up in this league? Because it's crucial. We are in a position that we've not been in for a while. And we're in a healthy position, very healthy position. But starting with yourself, Hugh, what do you think the outcome of these games will be? Or how do you think you'll line the teams up? That's important as well.
Well, first of all, he's got a big shout in the goalkeeper situation.
Yeah.
And I think he'll start with Craig Gordon, mainly due to the fact that Craig Gordon's been there. I actually love Craig Gordon as a goalkeeper. Met him a few times when I've been to Tynecastle in hospitality, in the players' lounge. So I've been there quite a few times. Nice crack, big guy. I see two things here. I'll probably say start with Scott Bain because he's been playing all the way through. But does a goalkeeper need to be playing every single week for Mark Sharpness? Because they're there. They can get brought on at any time, any game. They can get brought on. Liam Kelly done it last year with. He wasn't playing. He came on for Butland when Butland was having a bad go of it. I think he'll start with Craig Gordon just because you know how Steve Clark works. He works on looking after the guys who got him there. So he looks after the old guard for him. He's reliable in that way. So that's why I think he'll go with Gordon, and I don't have an issue with that.
Graham, on that point, we'll come back to the rest of the team, Hugh, but obviously that's a crucial statement for the fact that your goalkeeper is a man that Hugh's saying might be ousted from it, but then again, you've got Craig Gordon as well. I mean, surely it's a healthy position, not just for Scotland, but for Hearts as well, that we've got that pick. What one would you go for with the starting lineup in goals?
I think if we're basing it on form and someone that's starting, you would go with Scott Bain. But I think he will go with Craig Gordon just for experience because he's been there and done it. And we do. One of the criticisms of Steve Clark is the fact that he doesn't pick players that are on form. He goes with the tried and trusted. Yeah. Which I understand because it's got us to €2. I understand that. But I think in this scenario, we are not particularly blessed with a lot of great Scottish goalkeepers. Angus guns out. Xander Clark's not playing for Hearts. We don't have much else. I think Scott Bain is playing and playing well for Falkirk. Craig Gordon's not put a minute for Hearts this season. He's our backup goalkeeper. Not a bad backup to have. But I do believe that we will go with Craig Gordon. And obviously I have no problem with that as a Hearts fan, as a Scotland fan. Mm-hmm. I think it'll be Craig Gordon that starts. I think the worry is that if you do play Scott Bain and he makes a mistake, then he's straight up against it. So I do believe that we will go for Craig Gordon. But like I said, if you're picking up on players on form and playing, you would go with Scott Bain. But he won't do that. He'll play Craig Gordon.
Yeah, I think as well he'll play Gordon because obviously with Gunn being out, he's brought Scott Bain in, who wasn't really there at that moment in time, and it just makes you wonder about the other goalkeepers. So, yeah, there's no reason why he shouldn't be playing Craig Gordon, simply because if he's good enough to be in the squad, he's good enough to play, and that should reflect in the rest of them as well. And I would definitely personally go with the experience of Craig Gordon because we won't get another tournament out of him. And he'll be determined to be in tip-top condition and at the top of his game to try and actually prove that he was meriting the position that he's getting. Just moving into the defence end. So are we all saying that Craig Gordon should be the starter, but you reckon Scott Bain will probably get a shout?
I think Gordon will start.
Yeah, I do too. Graham?
Yeah, I think Gordon will start.
Yeah. So we're all off the same hymn sheet with that then. Right, what about defence? Because obviously this is going to be a test. We're up against a team who were beaten by Scotland, and they're wounded in relation to the fact that we now are having to win or draw this game at the minimum and then try and get straight through without a playoff by beating Denmark. I mean, on the back of this, will he try and shore it up at the back, or will he just go maybe a wee bit more aggressive than we've seen him in previous games? Because he wasn't happy against Belarus. He was very unhappy about that. So will he change things that will basically be a more attractive game to be watching? Or is he just going to try and go for the draw and hope that we don't get turned over with Greece? Because Greece, to me, are a really good team.
Yeah.
They're a really good team. I think they're better than Denmark. And I was surprised that we got a result. Delighted, of course. But at the same time, I think Greece are going to be the one that we really need to get something out of. Hugh, you think that?
I have actually says that the Greece is the most important game.
Yeah.
You get something out of that, it really brings the Danes out. The Danes need to go and win, which probably be to our benefit, because let's not beat about the bush here. They're going to beat Belarus. And I would imagine by a substantial amount that we couldn't do.
Yeah.
But I just think, as you said, Dennis, I think the Greeks are a cracking team. They must have came away from Hampden and thinking, what actually happened there? How did we get beat?
Yeah.
I think Steve Clarke won't go adventurous. He's not an adventurous manager, and he's proven that in the past. He proved that when we got to the Euros and he sat back and Germany destroyed us and didn't even want to make an attempt at it. So I think he'll go a 3-5 and maybe a 1-1, just to. And that's what I think he'll do. I think he'll play 5 across the middle, just to try and nullify the aim. If need be, drop one back again. That's what I think he'll do. I think he's going to 3-5. Well, 3-5-1-1. He'll probably go, because he won't play with 2 strikers.
No, and I totally agree with you there, Hugh. That basically. And you've said it as well, Graham, it relates to loyalty rather than, in my eyes, having a go at it. You've got Lawrence Shanklin in the squad now, and I look at that and I go, should be in before, right?
Long before.
And he should be playing, because when you look at Adams and you look at Dykes, it's a toss of a coin and who you're going to play there. And Adams seems to get the heads up all the time when I don't think he's the best finisher. But at the same time, that's loyalty, and that loyalty can drag you down. There should be no sentiment in it. Lawrence Shanklin, to me, will get a game at some point in this match. I don't think there's a question in that, because he's now back to the way he was. You can explain that in a wee while, Graham. In my eyes, the way he was before the previous 2 managers were in. And I really think he merits actually playing in the Scotland jersey. He's not really had the best of times when he's had a jersey, but it's 12 months since he's last played, I think, with Scotland. So it's not really been a massive run he's had when you compare it with the 2 that he's competing against with Adams and Dyke. Your own mindset on this just now, Graham, is Lawrence Shanklin up for this at this moment in time?
I would say yes, based on the form this season. I mean, last season, he only got 9 goals in the whole season. He's got 10 already this season. It's only November. His form has been fantastic this season. You look at the new players that Hearts have brought in, but Lawrence Shanklin's been fantastic this season. He's back to where he was the previous seasons. He looks happier. He looks hungrier. He looks fitter. That's Derek McInnes as well. I think he's come in and just said to Lawrence Shanklin, look, you're my main man. You're the guy that I want up front. He's still the captain as well. I think Lawrence Shanklin's been fantastic this season. The amount of games that I've seen this season where he just looks so much more happy, he looks more composed in front of goal. He was snatching at things last season. He didn't do the previous seasons. Personally, again, if I'm looking at someone that's on form, I'm picking Lawrence Shanklin, but I know full well he won't start. He will play Che Adams. I did a thing on my TikTok page yesterday, giving the team that I think Steve Clarke will play, and I think he'll go with Adams up front. But if you're looking at it right now, you want your best players to play. You want your best striker to play. And right now, and it's not biased, it's what I see every week.
No.
Right now, our best striker is Lawrence Shanklin. He should be starting, but I know that he won't.
That's the exact same point I'm saying, Graham, is that loyalty can trip you up at times, because I do believe that Adams is not presently as good as Shanklin is. And Dykes, as I say, can blow hot or cold. And to me, Dykes is an excellent forward when he really gets into the game. Pulls the ball up well, he's good in the air, he's strong upper body strength, but he just doesn't do it enough for me. But anyway, we've went from Hughes back sort of a defensive line to the forward line in one jump. So
missed the midfield.
We've missed it, the midfield and the central defence. Graham, just letting you have a go at the defence side of it. Who would you play at the back and how many, if you look along the back line?
My concern tomorrow is that Greece have nothing to play for. So I wonder how they're going to approach this game. You know, are they going to be raging that they didn't qualify and Scotland beat them? Or are they going to maybe play a few new players? The laddie that worries me is Karestas. We'll see how good he is for Greece. He's a worry for me. I think, based on what he's done previously, I think he'll play 4-2-3-1. He'll play Robertson at left back. I think he'll play the centre defensive partnership of Grant Hanley and John Souttar. My worry is right back, because I do not want to see Anthony Ralston in that starting lineup.
No.
I think he's very, very poor. He was awful against Midtjylland. Aaron Hickey is back and playing for Brentford. I want to see Hickey at right back. If I see Anthony Ralston on that team sheet, I'm going to be honest, I'll be raging, because he shouldn't be starting for me.
Yeah. An ex-Hearts man, of course, you're liable to say that as well. But the bottom line is you're spot on. I mean, I've rattled my gums about the defence before with Hanley and obviously Ralston. And, you know, Ralston does his best, but it's not good enough for that level. It's probably not good enough for Celtic level as well. But his honesty is great. But there's no sentiment when it comes to this level of football. When you're talking about the top half of the Premier League in Scotland and the Scottish team itself. So, you know, I've seen players move away from the Old Firm that have done quite well for themselves. And unfortunately, it might be the state that Ralston needs to be in. But that's back to the loyalty thing again. He continues to play Ralston. And like yourself, and I think you'll probably be the same, Hugh, Hickey is a far, far better choice. I've as you rightly say, he's back playing.
Sorry, Dave, I've wrote Hickey down as part of my team. I'm along with Graham. Hickey has to start. Has to. Even with one leg, he's better than Ralston.
Well, we'll not go that extreme, but certainly it's an improvement in that position, you know. Yeah. What about the central defence? Because no matter what I say, it'll never be changed to the level I would like. But I think what Graham said is Robertson, Hanley and Souttar, we have four at the back. I don't think he'll go anything different with that. I don't think he'll try three. And I think that's what he'll end up with, Souttar, Hanley and Robertson as well. I mean, it's almost picking itself when you look at that.
It does, yeah, it does. I would like to see a three and flood the midfield, basically, try and control the midfield. Because Greece are quick. They're extremely quick. They move the ball really quickly. The players get up the park quickly and they don't mess about. And I think you need to flood that midfield to try and nullify it. But I totally agree with you. I don't think he will. I think he'll go for it at the back and just...
I think so as well. Yeah. I mean, Graham, when you look at this, what do you reckon in the middle of the park then? Are you looking at two just in front of the defence and three and then one? Or are you looking at maybe just four? If something will go two up front. I mean, there's no way in this planet he's going to do that. So, I mean, that's really what you're left with is two just in front of the defence.
Yeah, I think he'll play 4-2-3-1. The funny thing is, he actually played two up front against Denmark in the first game. He played Adams and Dykes and didn't play it again. But I think, for me, a big blow tomorrow is that Billy Gilmore's not fit, because he would have started. Yes. I think in the two, this is my own personal opinion, I think he will play Kenny McLean and Lewis Ferguson. Now, is that the ideal midfield partnership? Probably not, but we're kind of light there. So I do think he'll play that two of Ferguson and Kenny McLean. And I'm not Kenny McLean's biggest fan. I don't really know what he does, but I think that's what he'll do. I think he'll play Kenny McLean and Lewis Ferguson.
I think you're spot on with that, because we've got Billy Gilmore out. You look at what replacement he's got in there. My own preference would be Christie in there instead of McLean.
I thought Christie as well, but I do agree with Graham. I think he'll stick with McLean because he likes Kenny McLean for don't know what reason.
But it's funny how we're sort of getting an opinion here. We've worked out the back four, we've worked out the goalkeeper, and the three of us are in agreement that basically where the weaknesses are, that we are all agreeing in that. Yet, what is the manager saying that we can't? Because McLean, like you've just said, Graham, he's not my favourite. I don't think I've seen him. He's scored a couple of goals that have been decent for us, but I just look at him and think he's maybe more a jersey filler in my head rather than a creator or doing anything. And I just feel that the boy Christie's got a goal in him by getting into the box and working his socks off a bit more. So for me, I would probably go with Ferguson, another person that's come up through the ranks and done exceptionally well. But I think he's still to get the head on fire for us as well. I don't think he's got there yet. And I think the two of them playing together could be difficult for us to get much out of the three in front of them actually getting the ball. Now, what I'm saying is Christie, in a lot of ways, is maybe better playing up the park. But at the same time, I would put him in there. I really would. Just in front of the defence. But that, again, the manager is working with these guys day in and day out. He'll see an awful lot more in where they can play than I can. There's no question of doubt about it. But if you look at it, then Hugh, what would be? You're taking two in front of the defence, and then three, and then one. What's your two in front of the defence, and then your three midfielders?
I do agree with Ferguson has to start.
Yeah.
Has to start. There is no. I don't even think there's a debate on that one. I would still like Christie to start because I think he's got a bit more energy than McLean as well. He does get up and down the park. He does put himself about, and as you did say, he has got a goal there. Mm-hmm. He's definitely got a goal in, which maybe Kenny McLean hasn't got as much as what Christie is. You're going to get McGinn in there. McGinn's going to be in the middle of the park. I mean, who else do you bring in that's... Who's there that's going to give you excitement? Is going to say, no, what we're here at the minute. No, what I would like to see up front is I would like to see Shankland starting and maybe with Adams just in behind him doing the donkey work.
Yeah,
that's my personal opinion. Put Adams just behind him as a 1-1 and let Adams go and do the donkey work, or whether it be he might throw a curveball in there. You don't know what he's like. I would even give Bowie a crack. Mm-hmm. The energy that boy runs about. I didn't think it was fair on him the last time when they brought him on, played him right mid. Right mid, like, what are you doing?
He's not even in the squad.
And that's what I'm saying. Listen to things you're like that. What are you doing? When he bring him on the last time, I think it was for 2 minutes or something, played him in right midfield. You're like, the guy's a striker. You're not giving the guy a fair chance. He's got to give it, especially Shankland, he's got to give him a run of games. You can't bring him on for 10 minutes at the end of the game and think, oh, he's not scored. Like, give the guy a run.
What baffles me, and I don't want to be negative, but what baffles me is I cannot understand for the life of me how Andy Irvine is in that Scotland squad. I mean, that laddie has had one of the weirdest careers I think I've ever seen. How he's in that Scotland squad is just baffling to me. And as a Hearts supporter, he was at Hearts. He was okay, nothing special. But I don't know how he's in that Scotland squad. It's mental.
You know, the other option you've got there as well is Gannon Doak. Now, to me, I felt the last game he was quality and entertainment, that you just wanted him on the ball. Now, I don't know in a game like this if there's room for him to be doing that when really we're not out there to be playing with flair. We're out there to get a result, and it maybe needs shoring up, which we've been talking about at length there, about the two potentially in front of the four defenders. So, you know, is he somebody that we can't really afford to be playing at the start of the game?
I think we've got to start him because he'll give you an outlet. He'll run at defenders like he did in the last. He ran at defenders. He was getting brought down. You were getting yourself up the park. You take the pressure off the back four or the back five, whatever way he's going to play it. You have to play somebody who's going to give you an outlet, who's going to give you that opportunity to get up the park, to take on a defender. If he puts in a cross, you don't know what you might get a corner kick out it. Then you bring the guys up. You score a goal off a corner kick. So, I mean, Sewer's good at corner kicks. We've seen that in the Premiership. He's good there. So, I would play Gannon Doak. Have to start him. Have to. You have to be positive. We can't say, oh, we're going to play for a draw. Don't go back to Craig Levine days where we done a 6-4 formation. I mean, that was madness.
But when you look at that team that we're sort of discussing now, it's the same as. And we're sort of trying to introduce fresh blood into the team with an element of what we would maybe call would be fear factor, which it's not, because they have been tested and proven. But the loyalty factor of me is I'm a bit concerned with, to the point that if he went with Ralston, right, then he goes with McLean. Ferguson's not the finished article. He goes with Adams up front, who's not really done enough for me. He can score against the poorer teams, but when it's the big boys, he doesn't excel himself for the level he's needed at. And I just look there, there's maybe 3 or 4 that we are sitting discussing that there's replacements that should be given a chance. Is that a weakness the manager's got, or is it us just being naive?
We're definitely not naive, because it's not just us that's thinking it. It's not us that's saying it. If you go and listen to these phone-ins, even Talk Sport and like that, everybody's talking about there. He is too loyal. And as you said, Dennis, loyalty will be the end of him.
Yeah.
So you have to move on.
Mm-hmm.
The players have done the job. Thanks very much. But the younger generations come through, the more attacking generations come through. This is what you're needing. Guys with a lot of hunger. And from an ex-Motherwell player point of view, I'm just sad that Lennon Miller's not had to pull out the squad as well, because he would have probably been the player that would have filled the Billy Gilmore role with a bit more energy. You know what I mean? It gives you that energy in the middle part to let guys go on, and so that's what we need to be looking at. These sort of players. He's too loyal. That's my main opinion.
Graham, what's your own thoughts on the full outlet and what changes he would maybe make? When we've looked at it, we've agreed he'll maybe not do this or he'll maybe not do that. What do you actually think? Will we go with this stale, which we're maybe calling it, the stale approach that can get us results, and they've done well, but I'm sitting here looking for a wee bit more excitement than I've done the last few games. Can he give us that?
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I think I would like to see more young Scottish players getting through. I mean, I watch a lot of other national teams, and something that they've all got is they've got pace in their team. Scotland sadly lack that. The only real player that's got any real kind of pace is Ben Gannon-Doak.
Yeah.
And I think in my team that I selected in the 4-2-3-1, I've got Ben Gannon-Doak, Scott McTominay and John McGinn. You have to start Ben Gannon-Doak. He's the outball. You need an outball in a game like this. And if you look at what he did to guys like Guardiola at Croatia, he ripped that laddie apart. He's a fantastic player. You need a guy like Ben Gannon-Doak in your team to get you up the park, take people on. He's got raw pace and natural ability, but there's not a lot of that coming through. I would love to see a bit more. If Scotland get to World Cup, which would be fantastic, I'd like to see more younger players coming through, the likes of Lennon Miller. I'd like to see a guy like that getting a chance.
Yeah.
But Steve Clarke has got to 2 Euros. And I think he does deserve credit for that. When we've got there, we've not done well enough. But we've got a lot of players in that squad now that are over 30. We don't have a lot of younger ones. And I think that has to be something that we have to get through. There's too many. There's a lot of good players in that Scotland team. But as I said, they're getting older now. You know, how are they going to be at the World Cup? I'd like to see more younger players coming through. But something I say all the time, I just said it there. The lack of pace. The lack of pace is a massive worry for me. I think we are far too slow at times. But Ben Gannon-Doak is that one player in that team who has that pace, who can frighten opposition defenders. If you're Greece tomorrow, you might have more of the ball, but then you're worried about what's going to happen at the counter-attack. You've got a guy like Ben Gannon-Doak there. We don't have enough of that. And that's something I want to see coming through. I want to see more pace in that Scotland team going forward. And we don't quite have that just now, apart from Gannon-Doak.
Yeah. But again, we look at that team, and I would say we probably get the best Scotland team for a good number of years, especially in that midfield. You know, okay, Billy Gilmore's no fit, but McGinn, McTominay, Christie, Ferguson to a degree. You could go on and on with a few others on the sidelines now. But I think we've got a really, really good, strong team for the middle of the park. And that should take us to the finals, because we have got the quality there, I think, that's better than some of the other teams. Certainly better than the teams that come up against England in their escapades to get through. So I do believe that we can do it, but I think the manager's got to be maybe a wee bit sharper when it comes to avoiding the sentiment side of loyalty, and maybe just shake it up a little bit. And like you were saying, Graham, Hickey and you, Hugh, Hickey's a certainty to start. If he doesn't, what is he seeing that in relation to an international manager that we're missing out on? And that's my only worry. And that's what I'm concerned with more, is his starting lineup through maybe just being a bit stale. Because if you're unhappy as he was at the last game, you should be freshening it up. You don't bring in Lawrence Shanklin just for the sake of it. Build jerseys and numbers. That's not what it's about. You bring people in because they're going to do a job. And you're right what you said there, Graham. The fact of the matter is, I don't know why he's brought the boy Irvin in either. Maybe he sees something that we don't. But just on a note then, because we don't want to spend all night on it, our game is on Saturday night with a 7:45 kickoff. A bit late on a Saturday night over in Greece. How are we going to come out of this? What's the score going to be, guys?
I think the setup will be for a draw, not to lose the game. If you get anything else from it, it's a bonus.
Mm-hmm.
If you get a draw, going into Tuesday night is going to be massive because, as I say, they need to beat us. That's the difference. Mm-hmm. We still come out with another draw. If you don't come out with a draw tomorrow night, massive game against the Danes. It will be a big game anyway, but just
the two games are massive, no matter what.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's a massive game anyway, but it makes the game next week even bigger than what it could honestly be. You know what I mean? Push under a lot more pressure, because am I right in thinking you get into the playoff, you're still getting 3 games out of it?
Yeah, that's it.
So you're still in the same situation you've just been in. So you're still getting 3 games. So
you need to win the 2 games to qualify without being in the playoff. Yeah. So I look at that. Well, unless Denmark slip up, I think there's an element there where you look at it and you say to yourself, we won't have a better chance.
Definitely.
We have got a few injuries. I wouldn't worry about that too much because I think replacements are there that can fill the jersey. And I keep repeating myself on the back of this for the last half hour is he needs to freshen up to get the results. It's not going to do it itself because it's proven. Some of them need a wee shake, and just giving them the jersey automatically, it's not fired up enough for me. I want to see maybe a couple of people go, wow, look who he's put in there. Whether it's at full-back position, whether it's up front, I don't know. I'm just looking for a wee change.
I want us to be positive.
Yeah.
Have a positive starting lineup.
Yeah.
Because it starts positive. You then get the other team thinking, if I'm the other team manager, I'm thinking, well, he's going to do this. He's going to be negative. He's going to play 4 at the back. He's going to be 5 in the middle, 1 up front. They're going for a draw. We can attack. We can go at them. Then if he comes out with something totally different, it puts the game plan for Greece away. Wait a minute here. We weren't expecting this, but it has to be positive. The way it was before in the last game, he wasn't happy. Well, show us you weren't happy. Change the team instead of Dykes and Adams coming in and thinking, well, I'm going to start the game anyway. I always start. No, you're benched.
Yeah. The thing is, Graham's looked at it in a light that says the sort of the same way. I thought he was going to say I'll turn it off because if he starts with Ralston, as you said, it is unbelievable. But if he doesn't start with a team lineup that you think this is going to get something out of this game, you know right away you think to yourself, well, I'm going to make a cup of tea. I'll come back and watch bits. You don't get engrossed in it the same.
No, definitely not. We'll get
if you look at the boy Cannon Dock's going on, you look at it and you say, oh, that's lively. There's a wee bit of interest there. What's going to happen next? You know, that's where it should be as against a bit mundane. And I'm sure, Graham, you'll think that we'll get something out of the Greece game, I'm sure. You think that'll be a result we'll get?
Well, the thing is, we have to get a draw or win because you've got to assume that Denmark will beat Belarus comfortably. If we don't get anything out of tomorrow, then it's over because Denmark have got a bit of goal difference in Scotland. Yeah. So that game on Tuesday will mean nothing. we have to get either a draw or a win tomorrow to take it to that last game. And I'm trying to be optimistic and say Scotland will get a result. And I think when we get a draw, if we set up for that, I've got no issue with that. But we have to get something tomorrow to make it go to a winner-take-all. Because like Denmark's goal difference is far better than Scotland. So if they beat Belarus tomorrow, which they will, we have to get something tomorrow to take it to that last game. So we have to get either a draw or a win. And I'm optimistic we can get at least a draw to take it to that Denmark game. And the atmosphere on Tuesday would be incredible. Mm-hmm. I've seen a lot of folk already saying, oh, you know, that Denmark game is going to be massive. It won't be if we don't get something tomorrow. We have to focus on tomorrow and get a result there and then look at Tuesday. We've already drawn against Denmark. We know we can get a result against them. Yeah. But tomorrow is absolutely massive. We have to get something in this game.
Yeah. Well, I totally agree with that. And what I would say is Hickey and Doak up front is what I want to see. I think we can win the game if we play with A2. I know it's no massive change, but it can be instrumental in getting something out of it. And if he doesn't, I think the best we'll do is get a draw. I'm not even going to go down the road of thinking we'll lose it. But I'll tell you what, doesn't matter what team he's going to put out, we'll really need to be at our best because Greece are no pushovers. So let's keep our fingers crossed with that. And just briefly, if no matter what happens on tomorrow night, what about the game against Denmark? What do you fancy, Graham and Hugh, for outcomes of that?
I don't even think that's 50-50, but as Graham says, you don't get a result tomorrow night, any form of result. That's you go into Tuesday night, the Danes will come over here and batter us because they want to show us up. It's the same as the Greece game tomorrow night. They've got a point to prove against us after coming away with nothing, totally dominating the game. Even if they did freshen players up Greece tomorrow night, I still think they'll have more possession, more attacks. It's just how we handle it. It has to be Hickey and Gary Doak down your right hand side. Has to be let them go and attack. But Tuesday night it's going to be, as Graham says, it's going to be massive anyway. No matter the result tomorrow night, even if you do get beat, Tuesday night it's going to be massive. And it'll be some atmosphere if you do get a result against them.
Yeah. Graham, you think we'll get a result against Danes?
All week, I've been doing posts on TikTok saying that I am confident that Scotland qualify for the first World Cup since 1998. And I'm going to continue that. I'm going to say we get a 1-1 draw tomorrow and we beat Denmark 1-0 and we qualify. I am being as optimistic as I can be, unless I see Anthony Ralston in that starting lineup, then I'm going to change my opinion completely.
I'm not laughing at the comment. I'm laughing at the thought of Ralston actually starting.
Yeah, well, it is what it is. We just need to wait and see. And my thoughts are that we will scrape through to the World Cup finals. And I don't know if that's my heart ruling my head, to be honest. But we will see on that front. Anyway, let's move on to the domestic game. And Graham, you're back on, and your team's still at the top of the league.
We are.
And if you remember, the Celtic result, I predicted it right. I thought it was going to be the kiss of death, and you did beat them 3-1. So that was my only claim to fame with that. A couple of other results I've said to people went down the toilet. I think I actually predicted St Mirren to get beaten with Motherwell in the Cup, and that really went dreadfully wrong. But Graham, you've got to speak highly of your team now, as you've been doing since the start. What's changing? What you see is improving, or do you see anything dipping as we head forward and look at, which I've said, I think the last time you were on, maybe 3-4 weeks ago, that I felt Hearts were going to win the league on the back of it because, you know, they'd went down to Kilmarnock and got a result. So is that still going to continue in your eyes?
I have said consistently I don't think Hearts win the league, but it's been it's been incredible. Like, to be 12 games in the league, unbeaten, we've had 3 draws. I don't think a draw in Paisley was a bad result because it's a hard place to go. Beating Celtic was huge. They were poor, but I thought Hearts were really good. But I think I did a lot of these podcasts last season, and Hearts were absolutely garbage. We were bottom 6. All the talk was Hearts could get relegated. 12 months later, we're talking about Hearts winning the league. It's been a fantastic start. but there's so many games to go yet. You know, we're 7 points clear. I was at the game against United last week with my laddie, and I didn't think Hearts were great. I thought we looked a bit leggy. A few players were off form, but we still didn't lose. We got a draw. And again, all I saw after that game was, Hearts' bubble has burst. Well, if a bubble's burst, they're still being top, unbeaten, and still 7 points clear, I'll take it. This has been incredible so far. This has been my wildest dreams. I do think, and I've said it previously, I do think Celtic will get better. It is looking like the boy Wilfred Nancy is going to be the new Celtic manager. I've just had a notification on my phone. He's having talks this weekend. But this Hearts side, I've said it before, this is our best squad since 2005, 2006. And I've said previously that if Hearts do lose, because it will happen, we won't fall off as much as Aberdeen did. This has been incredible. This squad, again, I've heard a lot of folks say, Hearts' squad depth isn't good enough. You clearly don't watch Hearts then, because our squad depth is the best it's been since George Burley era. We've got players that come off the bench and make a big difference. You've got a £1.7 million signing from Brazil, who's only just back from injury. You've got Lawrence Shanklin scoring goals. You've got Clydo Braga. Keith has been excellent. For me, again, biased opinion, you've got Stuart Finlay and Craig Halkett, who should be in that Scotland squad. But the big difference for me has been Derek McInnes. He's come in and completely changed the mentality of the squad. Now I'm looking at a Hearts team and think, so many times last season where we were a goal behind or a couple of goals behind, you thought, we ain't coming back from this. I don't get that this season. Hearts have scored 29 goals in the league this season. We score goals in every game. We're a real threat. And even when we're not playing well, like last week, we still don't lose. There's a massive mentality change from Hearts this season, and it's down to Derek McInnes and the players, but also it's not just the new players who brought in. It's a lot of the older players that were there last season. Their form has stepped up. I think Cammy Devlin has been incredible this season. His level's gone up massively. So I think there's a lot of good things still happening at Hearts. If we finish second this season, do you know what? I'll take it. I'm just happy what Hearts are doing this season. Because last season, all the talk was Hearts getting relegated. I never thought we would. But honestly, I'm just, like a lot of Hearts fans, I'm just enjoying the ride. I'm not one of these Hearts fans that has ever said Hearts win the league this season. I'm just enjoying it. And as long as it continues, I'll keep enjoying it. Like my laddie is 13 now. He comes to quite a few games with me now. And even he's getting into this. Even he's thinking, could Hearts do it? But even he's kind of thinking, actually, like myself, there's a long way to go. But we're just enjoying it. You know, when you get to the top, when you're not Celtic or Rangers, when you get to the top, you have to enjoy it. And that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm just enjoying it for however long it lasts.
Yeah. Sure. You're obviously a strong Motherwell man. How do you look over at Edinburgh and you see the transformation of Hearts? Because Motherwell said a transformation, but it's not to the degree, I would think, saying it gently, as much as Hearts. Because you're on the up and up.
I'll probably agree and disagree with that, Dennis. The reason being is, first of all, before I answer that, Stuart Finlay should have been in the Scotland squad. I've been crying that for I don't know how long. He should have been in that Scotland squad. The transition that Hearts have made this season has been phenomenal. And Graham's right. One man's done it. I know the players have all bought into it, but Derek McInnes has obviously sat down with Lawrence Shanklin and gave him the confidence he's been needing. You could see the confidence was drained out of him last year. Whether it was because of the manager, he didn't like the style, he wasn't played, he didn't like... Because I think, Graham, you'll probably won't know that. Was he not playing a deeper role last year as well?
Yeah. He was playing a more...
He's playing the whole...
Attacking midfield.
He was playing deeper. You couldn't understand, you think. When you're going up against Hearts, you're thinking, Shanklin's going to be on form, you're going to give a game here. But then you're going up against him last year going, Shanklin's not even anywhere near it. Don't need to worry about him anymore. So that's the difference. McInnes has come in and says, no, you're my number 9. That's it. You're my main man. And he brought players like Bragg and that in to help him to assist him. But our transition, I think, I'm probably biased here, it's maybe a bit bigger than Hearts because of the situation we were in. We were in a dreadful state. Absolute dreadful. And apart from a couple of draws this season, we would have been sitting top of the league. We're 3-0 up against Hearts after 66 minutes. And the guys who were at the game, I know a lot of season ticket holders at Hearts. One of my pals used to play with Hearts, Ali Graham. And he tells me, because he goes to games as well, my Taekwondo instructor, and he says that's the best football I've seen in 60 minutes. He goes, we got annihilated that day. Would that be correct, Graham? That's only coming for them.
I watched I wasn't able to go to the game, but I watched the game, and I did a video straight after the game, and I said Motherwell are the best team I have seen at Tynecastle outside of the Old Firm for a long, long time. I thought at the time, Elijah Just was incredible. I thought he ran the show. I could not believe Hearts got back in that game, but I genuinely thought Motherwell played some outstanding football. I was very, very impressed with them.
Yeah. See, where we came from last year to this year, and you can see during pre-season, and I've said it before on here as well, the pre-season, you're thinking, oh, what are we doing that for? What are we doing that for? But you have to go with the manager. The manager's come up with these ideas and how he's that style of playing. I mean, there's sometimes our goalkeeper is standing on the centre circle and you're like, what are you doing there for? But he wants the ball back to attack again. He doesn't want the ball back to defend. We're attacking. We're going straight away. So our transition this year has been phenomenal. And even though we're sitting in the league, I am, like Graham, I am totally enjoying it. I'm going to a game of football now, knowing I'm going to be entertained. I'm going to see football here. We played Hibs years ago when Tony Mowbray was manager, and they absolutely annihilated the 6-2 that night. I stood up when he scored the 5th goal, and I applauded. And a guy next to me says, why are you applauding? I says, I pay to watch football, and that's football. Mm-hmm. That's the reason why I applaud. I says, I want to see the football. Our football this year's phenomenal. And I have said it. I've said it on Clyde 1 with Gordon Duncan and all that. At the beginning of the season, when we were obviously playing how we were playing, we're still playing it now, I thought we had the best midfield in Scotland. Our 3 in the middle of the park was phenomenal. You couldn't touch them. They're too quick with the ball. Slattery, Fadiga, and Watt. Watt is just, everything goes through him. Everything. He just drops back all the time, picks the ball up and moves the ball up as quick as possible. And Elijah Just has just came back off injury again. So I think it'll take him a couple of weeks to get back into it again. But he's just, once he gets in on his game, he's untouchable.
His vision, his awareness of what's around him. I was seriously left very impressed after that Hearts game. I thought he was a standout in that game.
Yeah, definitely. For 60 minutes, that's what I've heard that off a few Hearts fans. They've says, where did you pick him up from? It says New Zealand. They went, he ran the show for 60 minutes. Just ran it. So refreshing to see from last year. I mean, our next game's against Kilmarnock away, and the Kilmarnock fans are already on, as I call them, the media darling's back, because he's never out the media. They're on his back already for the style of play he's got, for his attitude he has, for his interviews. They're just saying it's repetitive every week. Yeah, for 2 years we had that, and we were crying out for it as well.
But there was a period, though, Hugh, that he was doing quite well with us. Not as well as they are now, but there was a period when Stuart Kettlewell came in, and he did turn it a little bit. And then, obviously, it just went right straight down the toilet. And your man having to go back to his own country after, how long was the last manager on the job? 6 months?
No, less than 6 months.
Was he? Yeah, which I don't know if it's good. I think probably it's turned out to be a good thing for you. But you've got Hearts at home on the 29th of November.
Yeah.
So, I'm listening to you, full of enthusiasm. Is it enough that you're going to beat Graham's? Or coming all the way over? Are you going to that game, Graham, the 29th of November? I think we should have you on the day before that so that we can get a real ding-dong going.
I'm not. I could trying to get tickets because I'm not going to have loyalty points. Trying to get tickets is really difficult, but I'm expecting a really tough game. I mean, hopefully we're still unbeaten going out of that game. But
yes,
listen, I genuinely, I can't speak high enough of Motherwell. I think they play some fantastic football. They're a very good side to watch. Yeah. What that new manager's done in such a short space of time is fantastic. He's got some really good players. Longello's a really good player. Stamatopoulos up front. Elliot Watt's been really impressive. They're just a very good side. I'm expecting a really tough game, but we've got big games to come before that. We go to Pittodrie after the break. We've not won there since 2016. That's a tough game, but I actually think, I said this to a few mates, I think this break's come at a good time for Hearts because we need to get a few players back from injury, like Ajew, our record signing, wasn't great against United. I think this might come at a good time for Hearts to get a bit of a break, get back to it in a couple of weeks. But Motherwell's going to be difficult. I'm under no illusion. Motherwell's going to be a very, very tough game. But hopefully we're going into that game still unbeaten. We might not be, but hopefully we are still unbeaten.
I don't see you losing a lot of games this year. I don't. I look at Hearts when we play. You were 3-0 up. The only problem with us is we don't score enough goals when we've got all the possession all the time. We've done it with Aberdeen last week. Absolutely annihilated all over the top of him. I think it came out with 72% possession throughout the game. You think we can't be doing it, so we just need. I like Stam up front. Stam, I love his energy, I love his enthusiasm. He's always in it, everything, but he just needs a couple of goals to get him on that wee run, to get his confidence back up. I know he scored a couple of penalties, but he just needs that to get him going, or we need another striker there to help him along. But I'm looking forward to that game. I've actually wrote down we've got Kelly, then we've got Hibs, then we've got Hearts. So we've got Hibs on the 25th, a couple of days before we play Hearts, and the two games at home. So
yeah, they're not far between them, to be honest.
Yeah.
Tuesday 25th and then the 29th.
That's right, aye. 25th, 29th, the Tuesday night, then the Saturday. So the only team I've really enjoyed playing against this year was Hearts, because 3-0 down, you think, as you would do, that's us, we've won the game. And I just think a couple of subs that we made changed the game for us, but the couple of subs that Hearts made pushed them on. But I think that's when Braga came on, didn't he?
Yeah.
Braga came on and he just thought, where did this boy come from?
Yes.
Hugh, can I just ask? Is there as much as I'm really impressed with Motherwell, I think they play some fantastic football. Is there a slight concern that the way Motherwell play, they are a bit exposed defensively? Because obviously that game against Hearts, we could have won the game. Yeah. Motherwell at times, I think, do look a little bit exposed defensively, which the way you're playing, you're going to get that. Is that a slight concern that you are a little bit open defensively?
It's not. You see the start, as I say, we found Ward standing on the centre circle in the Premier Sports Cup when we played Peterhead. One of their defenders just skipped the ball up the park and scored. We thought, we do not want that to happen in the league. But the manager's getting an attitude where he doesn't change it. It's just his attitude. I'm thinking, no, what? Fair dues to you, because at least you're saying, no, I'm not changing it. I'm going to be sticking to my... I think it will be more exciting. You're sitting on the edge of your seat going, oh, gritty, just hit it, clear it. Against yourselves, we gave you 2 goals. The one they palmed out. So we gave you 2 goals to let you back your game. But hey, fair Tuesday for coming back to us. We've done the same against Celtic at Parkhead. We tried to pass the ball out and pass it straight to the player. Then he palms it down. You think, come on. At 2-1, we're winning that game because Celtic were nothing. But they bring £20 million worth of talent on the field and we bring a development player. That's the massive difference.
You know, I actually think I would get more enjoyment out of watching Hearts and Motherwell with a breath of fresh air in the Premier League. The lesser teams are no brilliant, but the 2 teams we're talking about now, Motherwell and Hearts, have been exciting to watch. And then you look at the money you've just raised there, Hugh, across in Glasgow with Celtic and Rangers, the amount of money that's been squandered. And I use the word squandered because there's guys in there, 9 million, 11 million pound, can't really get a game with the old firm. And that speaks volumes for how the clubs are being operated. Now, if you had operated like that, and Graham at Hearts the same, if Tony Bloom hadn't come in and somebody come in with money and just blew it that same way, I think it wouldn't be exciting, and you'd end up being in the same position as what the old firm are now. They're a bit shambolic. It's no entertainment. They're more in the director's back than they are about players out in the park, which is sad. But that's the state of the old firm. You pay a lot of money, you expect results, and the results are no good enough to be entertaining as well. There was a while there, and I used to speak to Rangers supporters after the game and say, how was it today? Oh, terrible, terrible, terrible. Now, that went on for years, and they were winning leagues at the time.
Yeah.
But what you're both seeing at this moment in time is there's entertainment on the park at Motherwell. There's entertainment at Tynecastle, and that's good because although it's 2 of you at this moment in time, there's thousands are enjoying this, and that's great.
I mean, Graham would probably agree that At Tynecastle, I love going to Tynecastle, by the way. I think it's the best atmosphere stadium out there. And I'm not just saying that, Graham. I do honestly genuinely think.
Yeah,
The only thing I don't
that.
like is you're sitting like that at an angle. As if you're going to skydive or something. But I think just now, probably Hearts are the better one because they're where they are in the league. I can't see them losing a lot of games this year. I can only see them, because Tony Bloom was right. Within 10 years, you'll win the league. I think it'll be less than that because he will invest. Probably come January, he'll think, no, we've got a chance to win the league this year. I want new players in now. I want to keep on the squad. And I think that's a good thing because what's he put into the squad just now? Is it 9-10 million or something? All over.
9, and he wasn't getting any voting rights, which is brilliant. I think that's great. He's given them to go on with it. And if you see the value in there and the way the club's been run, you don't need to come in there and be a spoiled person that says, well, I want control. It's my ball. I'm going to decide what's happening. And I think that is another, what would you say, an excellent way about going about his business, the same as he's done at Brighton. And, you know, I think that's helped Hearts. I know you're talking about the manager, Graham, but I think there's a major part of that comes from Tony Bloom, when what's been identified for coming in and the manager has just gelled it all together. Because you've got to remember, Derek McInnes, as much as I might think he's not good enough for having taken Rangers or whatever, I think he's got a wealth of experience that he's now bringing with him. And it's proven that he can manage really, really well, because Hearts, they're untouchable at this moment in time.
Yeah, I think when Tony Bloom came in and he said that he thinks Hearts can win the league in the next 10 years, a lot of folk outside the Hearts laughed at him. But I said it before, if anyone can prove that, it's him. He's done it with Brighton, he's done it with USG, the squad that he's got there. He knows what he's doing, unlike Vladimir Romanov, who said that and it didn't work. But you look at Derek McInnes, and I think one of the first things he did when he came in, he identified the fact that Hearts weren't dangerous enough going forward. Well, he's changed that because we're a real threat now. He plays 4-4-2. He's got 2 wide players and 2 up front. I said it before, we're the top scorers in the league. 29 goals a season in the league. He's changed the attacking philosophy. He goes into every game to try and attack. Last week, he played Kizaridas, Braga, Kabori, and Shanklin. 4 attacking players. It didn't work. The balance wasn't there. But he went for it. He was like, nah, we're just going to go for it. And I really like that. Because too many times over the last few years, I've watched Hearts and just thought, this is boring. I don't get that now. I said to my laddie at the game last week, I don't ever feel now that every game Hearts go into, I don't feel that Hearts will not score. I do feel that Hearts are going to score in every game. And it's a long time since I felt that way. So I honestly think that the balance of Tony Bloom being in there, the balance of Derek McInnes being in there, the players we've got, and already we've got Islam Chesnikov, a Kazakhstan international, coming in January. And I do think that if we're still top in January or even a point or 2 behind, I do think we'll strengthen again. I genuinely think this is a very, very good Hearts side. And I said it before, I don't know what you guys think, but I've said it before, I do not think that Hearts will fall away as much as Aberdeen did last season. I just don't think we've got the squad for that. We've got a very good squad and a very good manager. So if we do lose, I think Hugh's right. I don't think we'll lose that many. I don't think we'll fall off like Aberdeen did last season.
No, I definitely don't. I can't see who's, as you say, you bring that guy in January, and my main point there was, if Tony Bloom sees what happens, wait a minute, we're still 4 or 5 points ahead here, or we're a point behind, we can push them. And the best thing is now, Graham, you're obviously noticing it well, I'm noticing it at Fir Park. We attack, we don't worry about their teams. We go to Ibrox, we go to Parkhead, we're attacking. We're not going to sit back. Let them worry about us. Because we're not going to, they've got this one and that one. I don't care. I've always said that. Attack the team. Let them worry about you. And that's the difference between what Hearts and Muller this season. It's more attacking football. It's more enjoyable to watch. Yes, we are a bit dodgy at the back, but I've heard we're bringing in 2 defenders in January. There are discussions with them just now. Whether they come in, I don't know. I'm hoping they do, because we are a bit shaky at the back, especially in centre defence.
Can I go on a run?
Of course.
No, it's normally me. I've decided not to run.
Have I got time for a run?
You've on 8. On you go, Graham.
I genuinely was raging at this yesterday. So I watched Sky Sports last night, and I saw Jamie O'Hara.
I knew you were going to say that.
An absolute bellend that I can't stand, saying that Stockport County would win the Premiership.
Yeah.
This really infuriates me when you've got an average footballer, actually, he was even worse than average, talking about Scottish football. He was a failed English footballer. And I have seen numerous big-name players like Joey Barton, Glenn Whelan come to Scottish football and fail miserably. For Jamie O'Hara to sit there and say that a League One team would win the Scottish Premiership. Yeah. I don't know how many times that I've watched English Premier League football. And don't get me wrong, I support Liverpool. But I have seen so many English football games getting hyped up that end up being absolute dross. I have seen a number of Super Sunday football games like Liverpool, Man United, Liverpool, Man City, Man United, Man City that have been terrible. And you've got Jamie O'Hara sitting there being arrogant and talking down Scottish football. I went a rant about this on my own TikTok page. I actually give credit to the guy on the Celtic thing that was on that last night. I thought it was embarrassing. I thought it was cringy. I thought O'Hara was extremely disrespectful. Stay in your lane. Because generally, I actually think you could take Celtic, Rangers, and numerous teams from the Scottish League, put them in League One, and they would win League One. To have that attitude that if Stockport came to the Premiership, they'd win the league, I'm sorry. I think that is an absolute embarrassment. And I can't stand it. It drives me mental when I see English pundits like that talking down Scottish football. It's talked down a lot, but seriously, get a grip. That really, really annoyed me last night.
No, the other one that annoys me, apart from him, I keep on calling him, yes, he is a failed footballer. And my question to him was, what have you actually done in the game? Well, go and show me your honours in the game that you think that you have got the right of an opinion of a game that you don't even watch. You couldn't even tell you who's in it just now. Jason Cundy.
Oh, I can't stand him.
He's just like, what have you actually done? You don't know nothing. You know, and they just keep on putting it down. Scottish football list, don't watch it. Just please don't. Just.
I think though, both of you, that Scottish football with the old firm has always been the big profile. And if he's watched any of their games in the last 6-9 months, they've been dire by the standards that you would expect for two teams that are world teams, right? And if he was taking on the back of that, then you could understand and say, well, they might struggle. They wouldn't, of course, especially that level he's talking about. But at the same time, the dip has been so big that teams like Motherwell, Hearts are not getting the recognition that they should be, because the improvement in the likes of both your teams at this moment in time is massive, and it means you can go and beat the Old Firm, who are on a decline. So if you were just looking at the Old Firm, you wouldn't say they wouldn't be able to win the first division. They would without any problem, even at this state. They would. But whether they would get any further than mid-table and the championship down there might be questionable, because I just look at Rangers and Celtic at this moment in time and I actually say to myself, how are they going to get out the mire they're in? And that's why I'm very confident that Hearts will win the league. And there's every chance that when you look at it, if Falkirk are sitting in 5th spot at this moment in time, who we maybe thought were going to get relegated, and Motherwell sitting in 6th, you say to yourself, you know, where is it going to end up this season? And there's no reason whatsoever. Hibs have done exceptionally well as well. And I wasn't a fan of Hanley going to Hibs. And basically, I didn't feel that the two central defenders were going to add anything to the game. But maybe Hanley's found his level. I mean, he's not playing against the top English players that he was in the past, so maybe he's settled in a bit. And we'll see how he gets on against Greece and obviously Denmark. But overall, I think Scottish football is not as good as people would see in the outside, because when they dip their toe in the water, what they're looking at is Celtic and Rangers. They're not seeing the amount of games that you're both seeing with your own clubs, which is refreshing, as we've already said. Anyway, can I just move on? That was a good rant, by the way, Graham. It's a wee change.
I had to get it because it was annoying me yesterday.
You're quite right, because I seen it as well, and I thought I better not say too much on that. What I'm going to look at now is the Scottish Premiership fixtures. We don't really have anything until the 22nd, But just rounding off for the night, where do we see the fixtures going in the Saturday 22nd, which seems a long way away? Dundee United, Falkirk, Hibs Dundee, Kilmarnock Motherwell, and Rangers Livingston, and St Mirren Celtic. Then on the Sunday, obviously yourself, Graham, is up at Aberdeen, and Motherwell are down at Kilmarnock, as you already mentioned, Hugh. Is there any fixtures in there that's going to change the way the league's looking at this moment in time?
You see, for Falkirk, I think they'll do all right this year, and have said it. At home, they'll be very, very difficult to beat.
Yeah.
If they pick up extra points away from home, they'll be fine. They're honestly going to be fine. Yeah. I don't see Falkirk moving out the league at all. I want rid of Livy. Because and I'm going to go on a quick rant. I can't stick that man. I really can't stick him. His arrogance just... you could... No, I'm not going to say it because it might get banned off here. But no, I don't like him. I really, really don't like the guy at all.
Well, you've also got, when you look at the bottom of that league, then we just dropped to the bottom, rather than we've already discussed the top, really, and who's going to get there. Dundee for me were the tip, and I honestly thought he would have been out the door, Presley, before Christmas. Yeah. And I still think it could happen. And that was when he got the job. I said that.
I think he could still go. Definitely still go.
Yeah. I have said this before, and I'm on record as saying this. I thought the Presley appointment was an absolute disaster. That was Gordon Strachan that done that.
Yes,
he is not. He is not a manager. If I'm a Dundee fan, I want him gone now. Yes, he got the result against Celtic. Celtic weren't great that day. Yep. But I think as well, when you're a manager, you might think things in private, but don't say it in public. Yeah. One of his very first interviews was, if you want a manager that wins things, that's not me. You don't say that in public. You do not say that in public.
Yeah. Anyway. Right, you both had a rant, and I've been rant-free, so that's a good shout. So at that point, we'll leave it for tonight. So thanks, Hugh, for joining us tonight.
Thank you very much.
Cammy, and Graham, you're the same, and hope your predictions are good for us at the weekend in Scotland. And everybody that's been listening, thanks very much, and we'll be back next week. Good night.
Good night.